Welcome to your Daily 5 for Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. You may be aware that OpenAI rolled out the most recent version of its artificial intelligence tool, which I think is just titled ChaptGPT 5. A week or two ago, they had a big live event for it, and then it was basically deployed. And what most people have been talking about in regards to this tool is, I guess, it didn't work. It broke things for people. There was a lot of people upset about the fact that they just revoked access to the older tool, all of which is stuff I don't care about. I don't care about any of that discussion or discourse or upset or any of the rest of it. I really, I don't even understand all of it, and that's fine. But there was one interesting element that a lot of people were touting as, oh, wow, this shows the power of the tool. And I watched this clip where during the presentation, the actual live streamed presentation itself, they brought out a woman who had been diagnosed and has survived cancer. And she was talking about the fact that she used the tool to help her kind of understand this, I guess, letter that she got from her doctor, or notice or message or whatever, saying, hey, we've noticed this thing and we need to do some more testing. And as many people would, she was really freaked out by it because the note really didn't explain what was going on. It just said, hey, this is something we found. We need to do testing. Of course, in her case, it ended up being a cancer diagnosis, but that's what most people will jump to if you have a routine physical or a normal test and suddenly a result comes back and it doesn't look right. And so I don't really have any problem with that. I think there is a very, very needed debate over how much advice people are taking from these tools. But my actual real kind of strong reaction to that was more of the deficiency in how the doctor communicated with the patient. And this is just one aspect of, in particular, American healthcare that is awful. And it's a story you hear a lot. One thing that you'll notice if you talk to Americans about their experience with physicians and doctors in the medical system is good stories, happy stories, pleased stories. Those are rarities. You don't hear a lot of people saying, you know what, my insurance is great. Everything that I've had to go through has been smooth sailing. I haven't had to complain or argue with anybody. All the costs seem reasonable. When I needed something, it was provided to me right away and with no problems. I'm not saying those stories don't exist. I'm sure they do, but they are not the norm. And I thought about this idea that a person would be sent a test result. And whether the doctor or whoever administered the test thought, okay, there's only a 5% chance this is something bad, the person receiving it has no idea. You don't have that information. You immediately jump to the worst case result. So the fact that there was not an immediate personal communication, a phone call, an email, something from whoever sent this message saying, you know what, don't panic. There's lots of things that can cause this result that are absolutely no big deal, or it could be a false positive, like some type of reassurance that this individual is left on her own to go to a ChaptGPT tool and ask it to give her reassurance, which fortunately it did, and it didn't say something insane like, oh yeah, this 99 times out of 100, this is this. So you should immediately start taking 3,000 milligrams of, I don't know, iron or whatever and cause a problem. And you sit there and think, well, who would do that? Well, let me tell you something. If somebody's panicking, and not every doctor is readily available. So generally when you call, at least in the United States, I don't know anywhere else, but in a lot of places here, when you try to get a hold of a doctor, you cannot just call your doctor. Many people do not have a direct line to their physician. And so you have to wait for somebody to get back to you and hope they get back to you in a timely fashion. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of pressure on doctors too. I'm not just saying doctors are lazy and they're sitting around playing golf all day. But if you get a result like this, the idea that somebody would get something like this that would understandably cause panic, and their first thought was, well, the best thing I can do is turn to a tool, not my physician, not somebody in the medical system, someone that I can trust with medical knowledge, but I'm going to ask an artificial intelligence tool what this could mean and have faith, really, and that's all it is, that it wasn't going to give her some kind of, even if the result hadn't said to do anything, if it had come back and said, oh yeah, that's almost certainly brain cancer, you have now caused a level of stress, distress really, and psychic trauma that could understandably cause somebody to go into a really terrible state. Could in theory, make somebody have a nervous breakdown, a heart attack. And it just reminded me that the American healthcare system has so many flaws, and the fact that this person had to turn to a tool for reassurance, there is something deeply, deeply wrong there. Later.